At one point, yeah, we probably have. Over the years, I've studied quite a few foreign languages, some successful, some not so successful. And so I wanted to raise that question. Can you learn, I mean really learn, a foreign language on your own? And I have to say that, in my opinion, the answer is an absolute, unqualified maybe. Let me explain. One of the, I think, best TED Talks out there. Have any fellow TED Talk geeks out there? Yeah. Great stuff. Videos available for free on the internet. Really life-changing stuff. It's by a gentleman named Simon Sinek. And his talk is titled, Start With Why. And what his point is that when we go about trying to get an idea across to somebody, or maybe sell a product to somebody, we start with the wrong stuff. We start by explaining what it is we're trying to sell, or what it is we're trying to get across. And his point is, no, that's backwards. What you need to do is you need to start with why. Start by explaining the reason why your audience cares about what you have to say. And once they accept that, then they'll be much more willing to accept what you have to say. And so I think it's very similar in learning a language. I think you have to start with why. In other words, you have to get what is your driving motive in doing it. For myself, it was relatively easy. At the time when I was learning Spanish, my wife and I were doing quite a bit of volunteering, both in the church and in the community. And I found that there was a large number of immigrants, Latino men, who really needed somebody to come and put an arm around them and be able to speak to them in their own language. You know how that can be. And so that was my driving reason. Every language has hard bits, okay, believe me. I mean, whether it's the subjunctive mood or if it's participles or whatever, every language has something that's hard about it. And so if you don't have that reason why, that real drive, you're going to give up. Okay? I one time thought, it'd be really cool to learn Hawaiian. Okay? Another time, Klingon. Okay? I'm a Star Trek geek. Okay? I wanted to learn Klingon. But you know what? I didn't have any driving reason why. And so as soon as it became hard, what did I do? I gave up. So you need to start with why. Once you have your why, then you need to start getting some learning materials. Now, notice I don't say get some books, okay, because I usually go about it the wrong way. I usually get books and expect to learn it from books. But the heart and soul of a language is not written. The heart and soul of a language is spoken. And so I always recommend to people, start with audio materials. If you go down to the public library, there's great audio materials available. Mastering Spanish, Mastering French, Mastering Russian. It's a whole series for many different languages. There's the Pimsleur series. They cover many languages. And Rosetta Stone on the computer. I've heard a lot of people have good effects with that. And so start out by getting audio and video materials. There's also video materials. Obviously, you can watch TV, Spanish language or other languages. There's actually even specialty series helping you to learn different languages made by the Annenberg Foundation, which is associated with PBS. So Destinos is the one that I used in Spanish. I also used French in Action in French. And there's Focus Deutsch, as well as a series on helping you improve your English. And so start with those audio-video materials. And once you have them then, absolutely go get some books. The first thing you need is a dictionary, right? Because you need to know the words in the language. I have several Spanish dictionaries of different types. It's a good idea to get a grammar book so you can understand why it is you're putting that ending on that verb. It's a good idea. And finally, there's some real-life books, real-life language learning, like how people actually use the language in real life. Now, notice I don't say books on profanity in the language, okay? Because there's a lot of those, too. And, I guess it depends on what is your goal in learning the language. If your goal is to move to another country and get punched in the face a lot, then get the profanity books, okay? But otherwise, don't bother. So get some materials. But then the third thing you need to do is you need to get over yourself and get out there and actually talk to people. Scary, right? Public speaking is scary, but here we are. Get out there. Get over your own fear. It's in some languages, like Spanish, it's really easy to do. I've walked up to guys in Shoppers Food Warehouse before, Spanish-speaking guys, and just started talking to them. And they're always pleasantly surprised that a complete gringo like me can actually speak Spanish.
You have to know that term.
Yeah. Sí. Soy totalmente gringo. And so just get out there and talk to people. With other languages, it can be difficult, but there's internet sites that'll help you to get hooked up with people who are trying to improve on your language. Finally, the ultimate thing is to go and do an immersion program. Now, this can get into a little bit of money, okay, but what you can do is you can actually combine an immersion program, in other words, being immersed in a language and culture, usually in a foreign language, or in a foreign country. You can combine that with something else you were going to do. So my family I have family down in Costa Rica. And so myself and my wife and my kids, we've taken 3 trips down to Costa Rica. And I combined a Spanish immersion with them. Similarly, my son and I went on a missions trip to Guatemala. And I was able to combine Spanish language immersion with the missions trip. So there's great ways to actually get out there and talk to people. So the question for today, can you learn a language on your own? The answer, I have to think, is absolutely yes. But you need to start with why. I know what my why is for learning Spanish. What's your why? Thank you.